So, firstly, thanks a lot for inviting me and TBC on the stage. As one of the keynote speakers, I think we have a story to tell, but overall it's a pleasure to see so many people. It's one of the biggest tech events. I had several interviews, and basically the key question was, what is the meaning and the importance of this kind of events in Georgia? And I think it's super important, so kudos to the organizing team. The platform should develop, and the more we all contribute and the region contributes, the better it is for everybody. So well done. Now, I tried to call the presentation the biggest digital banking ecosystem in Central Asia. Some of you may think that this is too much, like I was called a superstar or whatever, superhero. Same, maybe TBC claims to be the biggest in Central Asia, but in reality, this is so. I will show you some figures. We are the biggest one in terms of digital banking in Central Asia in just 5 years. Not even 5 years, less than 5 years. 5 years will be in October. So, and I will be telling... Is geldt ook al op de show. You hear me well? Better? All right. And I will try to tell you the story, how we came and where we came from. And there will be some insights. I will try to manage my time. And not only storytelling, but insights as well. So, 5 years on the road. The whole thing started in 2017. This was the moment when basically TBC acquired Bank Republic. And we had a very important strategic session right after that where we decided that we have to do something bigger. One of the biggest decisions was that we have to have 10 million customers. In Georgia, we have 3.5 million population. So 10 million meant we have to go outside. And another one was to try to play fintech game. And in those moments, if you remember well, it was the time when Revolut was starting, number 26. Bigger banks like JP Morgan was launching Fin, Goldman launched Marcus. So we thought, you know, why don't we use our own license, TBC's license in Georgia, and try to launch a neobank. Neobank is a bank that is not having its own license, it is using somebody else's license, but it operates as a mobile-only digital bank. So basically, this was in 2017. We started Space. I will tell you a bit more on the next slide. In 2019, we opened up Uzbekistan for us. I have a slide why Uzbekistan. It was a massive thing, but we did an interesting step, which was buying PayMe rather than acquiring a bank. Why? Because we wanted to start from greenfield, not having any skeletons in the wardrobe, not having any legacies, because we've been in the team, I myself, in many post-merger, post-acquisition integrations, and you basically are absorbed by tasks that are not business and not customer-centric, meaning transformation, legacy management, culture transformation, and we didn't want to have it. So we bought PayMe. This was, by that time, the biggest mobile app for payments, with approximately 1.8, if I remember correctly, million registered users. And we got a team, so it was an acquisition and an acqui-hire. We started to learn the market, and in parallel, we launched the process of acquiring a banking license, which was a full banking license, not a digital bank. It was a full banking license, but we intended to launch digitally. In 2020, it was launched, October 2020, and exactly in 2 years, we broke even. So the country became positive, and I have a slide for this as well, which is, I don't know how much you guys are aware of digital banks' break-even points. This is one of the soonest break-even point in a digital banking era, basically. There are not many players who did this. Why we did this? Because we had a proper go-to-market strategy, which was consumer lending. Many guys are playing around with fees. They say that if we dump the price on fees, we go negative on the margin, we're going to win customers, and then we're going to get positive. Not true, it's a lie. There are not many guys who manage this. So in this regard, we started lending. And in 2025, we have 20 million registered customers, all right? So Uzbekistan, somebody may think Uzbekistan is huge, so this is a small fraction of Uzbekistan. No, this is more than the half of the population. Population is 37.5 million. So we have in 4.5 years, 20 million customers. And that's why I'm saying we are the biggest digital banking player in the region. Another interesting story, especially for Georgians who remember this, In 2017, we decided to launch digital neobank in Georgia. In 2018, we launched it. I brought some case studies for Amazon and for Mambu. It was the quickest go-to-market for a digital bank in that moment, so they published cases. It was called Space. We couldn't call this digital bank TBC because TBC was already on the market, so we called it Space. And the interesting concept about Space was that it had only plus and minus, which is the only things you need. You need to receive money and to send money. Afterwards, we changed many things, but initially it was very brave. In first several months, we got 400,000 downloads, which is more than 10% of the population in Georgia. So it had a very good uptake, but at the end of the day, Space was a proof of concept because we knew that this was going to be used outside. Before COVID, we started German project. We were about to launch in Germany. We even have a German app in-house still, but then we changed our mind, and this was reused in Uzbekistan. So everything that is in Uzbekistan is actually Space. We closed down Space in Georgia because there is no more need. TBC has huge market share, so there is no need for another digital bank. But just for the audience who maybe was asking a question, why closing Space? Because Space is in Uzbekistan now. And I want to show a video, a short one. This was the first thing we launched in terms of advertisement. Again, you know, teasing the banks. Every color of the dinosaur is a bank, teasing our own self. Yeah, nostalgic emotions. This was Space stage, and then comes Uzbekistan. I mean, the first several insights. Why going international? Because we're a small country. There was a lots of debate now in the panel about fintech in Georgia. I am a big believer in scaling. I don't believe in small markets. I think that scale is important for you to do great things. That's why Georgia can play a fantastic playground for many initiatives, but they have to be expanding afterwards to other places because Georgia is small. But still, good place to be. Uzbekistan, huge country, totally untapped. And I'll have a slide afterwards on Uzbekistan. And mobile-only digital bank, because we very much believe that future is in the behavior that the human being develops, you know, and if the human being develops behavior of a smartphone, then you have to be in the smartphone. If the human being develops behavior of a AI assistant relationship, you have to be AI assistant yourself. So, but this is the future, I will tell you next time. So we went to Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan, 38 million people, 32 million internet access, 10 million social media, all this stuff. Another important statistic is Uzbekistan is growing every year by 1 million people naturally. So it's not immigration, this is birth rate. So the net growth last year was approximately 1 million. So when we started working in Uzbekistan, Uzbekistan was approximately 32 point something, now it's 37 point something. So this is a very, very interesting place. For those of you who are interested in the region, I mean, I would definitely advise to go to Uzbekistan and have a look. This is the growth rate, acquisition of PayMe, and when we see, you know, this hockey stick growth or whatever growth you call it, this is what we are seeing in Uzbekistan, and this is fantastic. And the time is not 10 years, time is just 4.5 years. And again, I think it's a massive achievement, and the team is doing a fantastic job. In terms of break-even point, this is where we entered. First 24 months was loss-making, logical, right? But after 24 months, we never had a red line on our P&L, which is also super important because it tells a lot in terms of go-to-market strategy, in terms of how you execute execution is king. If you don't execute, you can be dreamer, but if you don't execute, you cannot do anything. And this is about execution. And this is what we have today. So the ecosystem is big. So for those skeptics in the room, we built something very big, not only in terms of customer numbers, but in terms of execution, number of companies, number of products, and everything we launched. And this is what we have. We have 3 brands on the market. We have another company launched, TBC Insurance, which we launched. This is one of the first fully digital insurance companies in the country. We have digital banking products, payment products, engagement features, we call it, with all the loyalty features and all this stuff. And we just entered lifestyle. We just launched insurance. We just received also a license for a microfinance company. So it's a very big, in reality, ecosystem that is scaling very quickly. So we are on a good track. In terms of people, we have approximately 4,000 people already. Also, this is an execution point, right? I mean, imagine hiring 4,000 people and hiring not only in Tashkent, but we have 3 hubs. We have 1 hub in Georgia. In Georgia, this is not TBC Georgia. This is a separate hub that serves Uzbekistan. So we have an office of 700 people in Georgia who work for TBC Uzbekistan. We just opened an office in Almaty because the market is big, labor market is huge. We want to go down. Until end of this year, we're going to have approximately 100 people there, and we have the rest in Tashkent. And there is a cohort that is spread around the world. Altogether, 28 nationalities. So again, not talking about business figures, we managed to build a company in 5 years approximately that has 4,000 people, 28 nationalities, full culture spaghetti, but we managed to keep them happy and we managed to keep them very, very motivated to deliver this kind of figures. This is important. Yeah, and one of the last slides, basically, I just wanted to show you the flywheel. We call it, this is, I took it from Amazon flywheel. This is a common methodology now, but I think it's a super important thing. This is an outward-looking flywheel that tells you what are the strategic areas you have to be focused on for you to be successful, right? To have growth. Our flywheel tells us that we want to have the best product. Without best product, people do not come to you. But if you have a best product but you have shitty customer experience, people will not continue using your product. So next comes customer experience, right? Then afterwards, if the customer experience is good, people are nice, you know, AI assistant does its job, everything is good, but suddenly technology is having all the time ups and downs, people will lose trust. Then, okay, all these 3 points work, but our branding, our design is, again, bad. People will not love you. People will not want to say, you know, I'm user of this card. I'm user of this app. Because they will be a bit ashamed. Yes, the product is fantastic, and I'm sure in your heads you have many brands like this who do not put enough attention on branding and design. For us, this is super important, super strategic. So that it went into flywheel. Next one is data and analytics. There is not a single decision that is taken without deep analytics. And when I'm saying analytics, it is not that 5 experienced guys sat around the table and said, you know, in my previous experience, I was boss of this, and I know this because I did it 20. No. There is not a single sentence that is based on experience. Everything is based on customer data. And if you guys do not work like this, then you will be not successful at one point in time. So we are big believers in data and in data-driven decision-making. AI, next topic, next big topic. Very quick visionary sentence. We believe that the first decade of 2000s was about future of branch. The next decade was branch-less banking and people-less banking, do-it-yourself banking. And we believe that the next decades are bringing back the relationship manager into the interaction with the customer. And this relationship manager will be AI assistant. We built our own on Uzbek-Russian mixture. We launched it already. For instance, yesterday, our AI assistant had 43,000 calls, which is the substitute for 270 people in the call center. And we are scaling it. So we'll have sales assistant, we'll have call center assistant, we'll have relationship manager in the app, we'll have collections assistant because we lend, so we need to collect lending. The next one up is profitability, and this is not that we have our investors and we have to return money. Of course, we have many stakeholders, but the key thing in profitability is that the customer has to be thankful to give you money and say, please serve others and me again so that we can get your services and be happy about your services. So if your customers are not happy paying you 300 euros more than your next competitor, then you are doing again something wrong. And we have a fantastic example in this, which is Apple's iPhone, which now is on par, but previously was much more expensive than all the rest, right? And we were paying money for it. So in my opinion, profitability is the unlocker of the customer loyalty. And if the customers pay you, it means you are doing something right. Yes, and I think this is the last slide. Lots of coverage. Our story went very viral. TechCrunch writing about us, many guys writing about us. But the key is that last year, in December, one of the big news for us was that one of the research houses said that we are already valued $1.4 billion, which is a massive thing. We are not listed separately, so this valuation is by analysis only. But still, you know, it went public, and this is something that people think. So it's cool to have built a $1 billion company in Uzbekistan in just 4.5 years. So, last one, think big. If we would not think big back 10 years ago, and to be very, very honest, everything that we are doing now, most of the things that we are doing now, were discussed 10 years ago. So think big happens, and it matters, right? Secondly, you have to dare, which means that you have to go to Uzbekistan, the country you don't know, and you have to dare saying, you know, I will deliver. And the last one is you have to leave everything on the court. You have to go out there and execute. If you do not execute, then all your dreams are just wishful thinking. By this, I'm finishing. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go.